Well, we heard from the coaching staff today, Vic Fangio's press conference, Kevin Patullo. I mean, the most generic answers and no accountability, just sounds like a fifth grader when he answers some of these questions about how this offense will get better and how we get ourselves out of this rut to play better. I guess we're gonna be rooting for the defense this year. I mean, I don't know what else to really say about it, but we're gonna get into some of the details from Kevin Patullo today and update on Lane Johnson's injury as well. So let's get into it.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Well, guys, we're gonna get into Kevin Patullo's press conference. I'm just really fucking tired of this, like listening to this every Tuesday after a couple days after a game from our offensive coordinator. Kevin was asked about the one thing in particular that he's been frustrated with this offense, and I guess he's somewhat right. Where when we're on track, and when we're not, we dig ourselves a hole, and we're not detailed and the penalties and everything else. I feel like we're moving in the right direction. We've got to continue to push through and explode when we need to. It's almost as if they're just content to be playing like this. Play the conservative game, take up as much time of possession as you can. Don't choose these reckless plays. Don't be aggressive with your stone cold wide receivers and let the defense do all the work the entire fucking game. And frankly, between the conservative play calling, all the outside bullshit with A.J. Brown, and just all this pity-patty fucking nonsense, and I have nothing against Derek Gunn and his comments, because obviously somebody inside the organization leaked the news on Jalen Hurts, leaked the news on there's been an issue with the quarterback inside the building. I give respect to the players that come out and say that this offense isn't where it should be, and they're 100% correct. And then there's other times where we're still getting wins, and it feels like the more we're winning, but not winning the right way, the more frustrations we have in the building from the players. After a while, guys, this isn't me hating. This is me just being like, I'm just tired of hearing about the players having issues with the offense. Like, I wish this would just get fixed. Like, can these players just go to Kevin Patullo's office and make things right? I mean, week 11, guys, and we're still dealing with this. Even John Jaworski said it, I think, perfect on WIP, I think yesterday morning, where he said, if guys want to sour on winning, you got to get them off the team. This team is in the midst of a dynasty right now, and the only way you could break a dynasty down is from within. Just keep winning. I don't care who gets the credit. The only player that's promised not to speak out of tone the rest of the year, whether it's on social media or to the media in general, is A.J. Brown. Kevin Patullo was asked if they drastically changed the game plan that day to give A.J. Brown more targets, and he said no. In all words, he said no, that it went the same as normal. There's no way that's the case. I mean, everyone else suffered in that offense. Barkley suffers every day as usual, and Devontae Smith had a few catches, a couple drops. I mean, it wasn't much. It seems like they were not getting anybody else involved, and they tried to make A.J. Brown the hero, the savior of the game. That's what they try to do, and I think that's just the truth, and I don't think Patullo wants to tell the truth on that entire situation of how aggressive they were going to him in this game. I mean, maybe this is a longer process. Maybe we have to wait another 4 to 6 games, at least by the end of the season, right before the playoffs. This offense will be soaring. Like, how many more weeks are these players gonna be able to handle this? And how many more weeks are we gonna get the same bullshit answers every single Tuesday? Eagles had success in 22, and Nick took control to hire an idiot next to him so he can have full control of this offense in 23. Same thing in 24. You win a Super Bowl, you come back in 25. Nick hires an idiot next to him that has nothing to do because of his job. Kevin Patullo literally doesn't know what to do. Nick is handing him a fucking play sheet every week. He's calling it. They're both trying to figure it out every week. Two brains that have no offensive mind capability are trying to figure out. With Kevin Patullo literally handed over the most overpowered offense on paper at $200 million. Okay, and he can't do nothing with it. I guess we have to just rely on this defense to do everything. This defense is a championship defense. Can it be done? Can they get through the playoffs like this? I don't know. You got to rely a lot on this defense. The defense has to play almost near perfect every single week. But the one thing I will say about the offense is this: without Jalen Hurts, they are not where they are right now. Jalen Hurts is barely turning the ball over. Jalen Hurts is not throwing recklessly, but sometimes you got to take your shots. And I think you're being way too conservative. You're holding this offense back way too much. And I think they need to start amping it up a little bit more and get some guys touches and got to get some guys back into the game. Now let's go to Vic Fangio. The defense obviously only giving up a couple touchdowns the last couple weeks. They've been playing really good. They've been playing well since that second game against the Giants, since that bye week. Obviously, the trade deadline, getting Jalen Phillips, and even talking about Jalen Phillips, that he's almost at full form of what he was when Vic Fangio was in Miami before he got hurt with the Achilles injury, when he had like 6.5 sacks that year. And Fangio even says that he can get even better than where he is right now, and that's pretty damn scary. He even talked about rookie safety Andrew Makuba as well, that, he's playing a lot better. He said early in the year he had some bad plays that led to big plays for the opponent, and we haven't had that lately. And I think Reed Blanchard had a pretty big job as well, because you have that back end communication. I think that has been an issue, and Makuba has given up some big plays this year. So he's played a lot better. His tackling's been a lot better. So Makuba's been pretty damn solid, and hopefully he can continue with that. Yeah, Fangio talked about, Nakobe Dean. There was a point earlier in the season where I think Dean wanted to come back a little bit earlier. It looks like Vic shut that down. And really since, I think, the Vikings game, he came back, the small sample size that he had, and Fangio just thinks he's a natural at what he does. And to me, I'm actually a little shocked, like even coming out of the gate, really in the beginning off this injury with the sample size he had, he was playing really good. And there was times where he was missing some tackles. Like there was just some things he was fully having to come back a little bit because he missed so much time, not in full pads. Like he missed a lot of time. It is what it is with that. But Nakobe Dean has been one of the biggest fucking changes to this defense. He has been one of the biggest positives, especially against the run and playing downhill, and how disruptive he could be, and his physical nature, being the leader of this defense, one of the leaders to this defense. I mean, man, it's almost to a point now. You might have to pay Nakobe Dean at some point. I think Nolan Smith will get the check out, maybe pick up that fifth-year option with him, and then you pay Jalen Phillips, you pay Carter, and you make Dean a priority. Since Bond only has one more year left. So it's going to be interesting, but Nakobe Dean is having a flawless year, no doubt. And yeah, Vic Fangio liked Adoree Jackson, what he did on the field. Looks like they're not going to move him. They're going to keep him at that CB2 spot. He obviously is the best corner that we have at CB2 right now, and that's where it's going to be. I mean, 2 third down stops he had in that second half, which was great. Back of the end zone to Brown, and then that sideline throw, I think, on third or fourth down, something like that. So, Adoree gave up a couple couple passes in the beginning. He got stiff arms, so he got beat a little bit, but, I thought he settled down pretty well. I give credit where credit's due, and Adoree Jackson, the confidence is starting to rise with him. And yes, defensive line is helping out a shit ton with that. And I'm glad, guys, because early in the season, we weren't getting pressure. These quarterbacks are holding the ball for like 8 to 10 seconds, and these corners are going through hell all game. So having that pressure is good for everybody. It's not just good for Adoree Jackson. It's good for Quinyon. It's good for DeJean, which when it comes to tip drill and the defensive line, tipping the ball and getting picks, getting turnovers off of getting the pressure like that, it's going to help every player in the back end, and that's perfectly fine with me. Now, Nolan Smith is still on a limited snap count. I don't know what he had last week. I really didn't see him that much, but I guess this is taking a little bit of a slower process coming off the injury. I mean, great thing is he came off the injury the first week, and he had a sack his first game back, which is really good. So, he's only going to get better as the year goes on, hopefully. But thank God you have Jalen Phillips here to kind of take over. If you need to give him more snaps, I mean, there's no issue with that at all. But it's somewhat still a deep rotation, and Nolan Smith still has some time. So I'm wondering how many more weeks it's going to take for him to be at full form, and we'll see what happens with that. Now, there's been some new news on Lane Johnson with his Lind's-Frank injury. Now, his Lind's-Frank injury, there's still swelling, unfortunately, so apparently they can't do any x-rays, and they have to wait like till next week because that's how swollen it is. Once the swelling goes down, then they could find out if it's going to be a 4 to 6 week thing, because I know Lane's trying to get a second opinion, or it's going to be season-ending surgery where we're going to lose Lane for the rest of the year. So I guess we're gonna wait a little bit longer on that because I thought they already kind of said the other day. Rappaport put out the news that he was gonna be out 4 to 6 weeks, but I guess there's more to it than that. I don't know. Like we said the other day, Fred Johnson will come in and thought he did a really good job last week. I think every time he's been in, thank God they made this trade. Thank God Fred is in the building. And if this comes down to 4 to 6 weeks, you leave him out for 4 to 6 weeks. He gets ready to come back for the playoffs. He might have like at least a week of practice, maybe 2 weeks of practice before he comes back, gets ready for the playoffs, and we're lock and loaded, ready to go. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, between the leaked information, players are starting to question everything, and it seems like the players are really just getting ready for the next opponent. They're not worried about this other outside noise. Kevin Patullo is just a waste of my fucking time at this point to even be watching or listening to what he has to say about what this team did. And I guess this is where we're at. I'm just going to expect every single week that the offense is just going to play like this because has nothing to do with a learning curve. This is just incapability of being an actual play caller. That these two guys that we have are just not cutting it. Speaking of Nick, speaking of Patullo, them together is bad for fucking business and one of the biggest mistakes they made. I guess we're just going to have to root for this defense because I don't have answers. I mean, I think we have answers, but I just don't think we have the capable minds of two guys that really know what they're doing. And I think if there's one thing you need to show in these games offensively, it's show some aggressiveness with both of your wide receivers because they're stone cold killers and get this fucking run game working, and that's where I'm kind of at, that's my hands are tied. I guess we just have to rely on one side for now to win games for us and keep putting the offense in good position to win football games over and over and over again. I guess that's where we'll be at. But other than that, guys, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on the next one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. Make sure you like the video because it helps out tremendously. You guys enjoy. Shakes one off the other side. Peace out, guys. Peace.